Okay, I want to check the oil. So I have to pull this lever, this latch, to open the hood. Now, I gotta walk over to the front of the vehicle. And I have to find this hood, this latch that's underneath the hood. And I gotta lift it. See? Now I have to prop it open with something. Oh, it comes equipped with a little, I don't know what they call it, a hood bar or a hood prop bar. I don't know. Something. There's an official name for it, of course. I just don't recall. I don't recall what that is. For Germano. So what do we got under? What do we have underneath the hood? Underneath the hood, what do we got? What do we got? We got an engine. We got this called a 3.3 liter V6, but it's on the manifold cover. Don't worry. What else we got? We got black painted valve covers with bolts and washers and grommets, and we got this PVC tube valve in there and a PCV tube connected to a air filter housing unit. We got. I'm looking for the dipstick because that's what I came here to do. Dipstick. Gonna check the oil. So I'm going to pull this dipstick and pull it out of its dipstick tube. Before you can check it, you got to wipe it clean with a paper towel or something, maybe a shop rag if you got one. Something that's lint free, because you don't want lint in your oil. Although it will, any contaminants like lint or anything like that will filter out, will get caught in the filter, especially if it's a high quality filter. That's why I believe in purchasing the more expensive filter. It ensures catching all the little contaminants, because you don't want those circulating in your engine. That's what can ruin your bearings and all that other stuff. So what do we have? We have it's full, which means that it's not leaking. I took it to an automotive specialist and he fixed all the leaks, every single one. And I'm really happy because it was driving me nuts, trying to figure out where the leak was. Got the hood open and I have access to the engine. I might as well check the steering fluid chamber. And it looks like we're topped off. You have to make sure it's at least at this foot fill range. So it might be kind of hard to see because there's dirt on it. But it looks like it's full. Make sure you put the cap on properly. And then I've got this brake master cylinder reservoir. And it looks like we're full. So you want to check that too. Check your battery connections. Make sure they're tight and clean. Terminals, cables. I'm going to pull this tranny fluid stick. See what we got. Although you're supposed to, I believe, have it running, but I do sometimes. So yeah. This is also very important because I blew up a transmission about 6 months ago. I just tore the crap out of it. All the gears, I sheared all the gears off. It was more than just shearing the gears. The whole thing broke in half, broken like 3 different pieces. All the shafts, all the bearings. You always want to check your radiator, make sure you have enough antifreeze and the proper mixture of water and antifreeze, depending on where you're located geographically. Obviously, if you're in a much colder climate, it requires more antifreeze, but I'm in a moderate climate, so although it does have its extremes, but not nearly as much as if you live in other parts of the world. But it gets really hot, but it also it doesn't get really cold. unless you're up in the mountains. So it looks good, the radiator. No leaks in the radiator. It's a fairly new radiator. I replaced it about a few years ago. One thing I do have to fix is my windshield wiper water cleaner sprayer. Don't know if it's the motor or if it's or something else, but I'd like to have it checked. What else do we check? Check your hoses, make sure they're firm, they're tight, no leaks. Check your washer fluid reservoir. Check your air filter. It just comes off with these clamps. And check the tightness of your serpentine belts. You don't want that slipping. Check the oil filter, make sure it's not leaking there. Connections are good. Fans are important because it cools the water that's in your radiator, because it circulates through a very hot engine. So it looks pretty good overall. Where'd it go? Wow, that's cool. See it? Some kind of a military aircraft. Never seen one of those. Yeah, check the air pressure in your tires. It's very important. Because, you know, nowadays tires aren't cheap. Even the cheapest ones have gone up. But yeah, the treads look good. You got to make sure that you're balanced with these weights. And you gotta make sure it's properly aligned, vertically and horizontally. They call it the camber and something else. But I was really worried about my tire uneven wear, because when I took my vehicle in, they said that I needed another new, it's not a sway bar, I forget what they call it, but it controls the steering. I guess it's leaking, and I installed it myself. It was a rebuild, and I hooked everything up right, but they said not only that, but one of the tie rods is stuck. So they couldn't adjust it all the way out. So I was concerned about it. He said he got it within like 0.001% or something like that. So it wasn't too off. But I was looking at the treads, and it doesn't appear to be any uneven wear. So I'm happy about that. But there will be uneven wear if you don't have adequate pressure in your tires. So that's important.